Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and today we are going to have a look at Axona's brand new Richmond airport scenery, and we're going to fly the A320 from here down to Charlotte. Now, before we even start, I would like to thank ORBX very much for providing me with the preview copy of Richmond Airport. Now, you can see it's a little bit raining over here, and what you also can see in use is FS traffic from Just Flight, which we are using for the AI aircraft. Now, what is really worth mentioning here is the lovely quality of those AIs. Just pause the video for a second in the position where we are right now, and do have a look at the entire aircraft you see on the apron over here, and then tell me which of those is the one that we are going to fly, and which of those are actually AI aircraft. So do pause it now, put it in the comments below, and then we're going to see in a few moments. Now, before we actually head into the airplane, let's have a quick look around the upcoming Richmond airports. Now, it's provided by Axonos, and a couple of basic facts here about the airport itself. Richmond is the second largest airport in Virginia, and it is the oldest continually operating airport in the United States. Now, you can see it is a somewhat characteristic looking airport with a lot of those red bricks over here, which really make the interior and the design of the terminal building and really give it some character. Also note those lovely A320s standing over here. Huge engines, aren't they? Now, the airport does not have a terminal interior, as you can see. This is what we get. But that means that we do get some really good performance over here. As you can see, my sim is running really very well. And that's partly due to the modeling of the airport. Now, it does still look very good. We're going to see it from our aircraft in a few moments. And as you can see, there are largely parking spots which don't really have a direct view into the terminal anyway. So in my opinion, the lack of 3D terminal interior is not all that bad. Now, the airport itself, if we do have a look, has some very nice rain effects down here, and is a typical American looking airport. So you really get what you see, and that is what I like about those American airports. So very nicely done, as you can see. Good quality texturing of the runway over here. And what you see is what you get, and I do have to say that I like it. Now, I've picked Spot Alpha 12, which answers our quest as well. This one is, of course, our A320. It is the American Airlines livery for the Fenix Block 2 featuring IAE engines. And this is the aircraft type that American actually uses on those flights in the real world. Now, I've picked this very parking spot so that you can get a good idea of what it looks like and what those windows look like or not look like. And with that, let's head right into our airplane to commence our flight. Now, the airplane is completely shut down right now. Layout is as close to the real one as I could get it, but might not be perfect. However, very nice repaint that we have over here, featuring details like the custom stickers over here for the American livery and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, good looking airport. Now, when you are as close to the walls as we are right now, then you can kind of, if we zoom in, start to see a little bit of the level of detailing over here. So it does get a little unsharp over here, but if we just go back to a normal zoom level, then this is what it looks like, and in my opinion, this is really good. Now, the airport also comes with a custom GSX profile. Nonetheless, I still find that talk standing in the jetway over here, so be it. Okay, so that much about the details of where we are. Now we are going to experience the airport in its full glory during simply a normal flight, so that you guys can see what it looks like in your day-to-day operation and not in some fancy advertising shot, which, as we know, always look a lot better than anything does in the sim, really. But no, it is a good-looking airport in my opinion. Now, you gotta make your own opinion of whether those missing 3D terminal interiors will affect you. In my opinion, it's alright the way it is right over here because, well, you basically mostly look onto the brick walls anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and start setting up our airplane. I am just carrying out the procedures over here casually as I would on the real aircraft. So if I'm not talking you through anything on this one, then that is by design. But rest assured, I will have a full tutorial series for the A320 coming rather soon. Okay then, so power it up. Gonna take a little while until it's actually running. In the meantime, let's go ahead and grab our flight details and have a quick look at our flight plan. So, looking down here, destination Charlotte, as you can see, it's got good weather. A little bit gusty, but not too bad. Just some 20 or 24 knots here. So nothing to worry about at all. Then looking further down, Asheville, our primary alternate, it's looking good as well. So I just don't see any reason to take much extra fuel over here. Okay, so then let's have a look. We're planned at 10.9 plus the taxi fuel, so about 11.4 if we want to be on the safe side. So if you give me some 11.4, yeah, make that 11.5, we should be good to go. Okay, so over to the mass and balance in terms of fuel. Why is this in kilos when the rest of the airplane is in pounds? Or did that not save when I saved it earlier? Let's have a quick look. So, units. Okay, indeed. It didn't save earlier, so here we go. Now, that stuff is correct. Okay, so 11.3 is the default over here. We're going to make that 11,500 so that we're covered with the APU usage. And that is looking good. That's our plan. So apply and load aircraft. And we are obviously going to use GSX for our loading over here. So perfect. With that, loading is in progress. And the aircraft should have started up by now. And it did indeed. So let's continue with our procedures. So, it's unfortunately not all that warm outside. If we do have a look into the weather, the sensors aren't running yet, but we can always see it over here. Then, going all the way down to Richmond, it's 12 degrees at the moment. Let's have a quick look at the cabin temperatures to decide if we need the APU. Lovely Fahrenheit, of course. Cockpit just got really hot, and I tell you what, I'm not in for that heat. I'm going to fire up the APU no matter what. In the US, they seem to do that regularly anyway. Okay, so the APU is coming up, and then let's go ahead and set up our airplane. So, quick look into the electronic flight bag, do our preliminary performance calculations, stuff like that. In order to do that, let's go ahead and request our weather. So, flight init from the ACARS, here we go. Okay, that took a little while. Okay, and weather, we are looking for Kilo Romeo India Charlie today. Right, sent that out as well. Received messages, weather data, here it is. Okay, so wind is calm, 12 degrees, low clouds, rain, altimeter 2951. Whenever I get an altimeter, I usually just set it straight away. Otherwise it becomes very easy to forget that. Okay, 2951 is in 3 times. Awesome. So then, Richmond, let's see. It's going to be a wet runway. Let's have a look at which runway we're actually taking off from. Okay, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. So it looks like runway 16 is actually going to be for us, or we could also take on down here, but I think runway 16 is actually going to be ours. Okay, so ground chart, we take the airport info and we take the parking gates, and then for the departures, let's see what we got. Plant of 16, Cali 7 departure. Okay, that sounds good. So departure, Cali 7 Arnav, here it is. Give me the night version, please. And that's what it looked like. Okay. So easy going, runway 16 then. Let's go ahead and put that in here. So, we could just synchronize the preliminary load sheet, but I honestly tell you, I do prefer to do these things realistically, so let's go ahead and see. We're planned with a takeoff weight of 134.1, let's calculate 135, and we should be on the safe side here. So, 135. Okay, let's see. Flaps optimum, force torque, I know we don't need anti-ice with these temperatures, packs off. Synchronize the latest live weather, please. Interesting, this gives me temperature 11 where it says 12 in here, but okay. And then calculate. Flaps 3, certainly not going to do that. Let's calculate 1 plus F. That's better. Okay, so we now know that we can definitely take off. That is awesome. Okay, then a quick look into our aircraft's technical status here. So APU is avail, and we did wait for 2 minutes, so APU bleed can come on. So aircraft's technical status, if we do a recall, 21, 22, 23. Normal. And the logbook is good. OEBs, none. And aircraft configuration, we've got IAE engines on here. Apart from that, it's not fitted with FLS, and that's all we need to know. Okay, so our aircraft is accepted for the flight. Well then, let's see. Oxygen pressure is looking good, hydraulic quantity is looking good, engine oil quantities are looking good as well. Flaps retracted and agree, spoilers are disarmed, emergency equipment is on board. Let's do the brake check. So, park and brake off, hit the brake pedals, get 1000 psi there, that's okay, and park and brake on. Okay. That's awesome. So, with that, our preliminary cockpit preparation is complete. Now, I'd say in these kind of weather conditions here, the FO can go out for the walk around. We're going to stay up here and do the pilot flying stuff. So, let's see, refueling is done already. Wow, that was quick. Okay, in that case, APU bleed can come on. We did receive a fresh aircraft, so let's go ahead and check the electrical systems as it's been powered up for more than 6 hours. Okay. Battery chargers work, fueling is complete, so we can turn on the pumps, and then fire tests. Looking good as well. Alright, nothing up here. We do turn on the PA system in the back so that they actually listen out to it. Now, obviously we can turn on the PA over here as well. I should have custom American Airlines sounds available in here, but don't quote me on it.
Please place your large bags into the overhead lockers, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing.
We're flying at captain side, so transponder remains on number 1, and then we can go right into the FMS. Okay, aircraft status 320-200 with the V2500 engines, current database, enough accuracy downgraded, GPS primary lost, aircraft position invalid, okay. So, on to the init then, request the flight plan. And here we go, so we are American, I believe it's 1062, but let's have a closer look. 1063, okay. So 1063, cost index 20, cruising in flight level 260, like that. Here's the flight plan uplink, yes thank you. Alright then, flight plan. We're going to depart on Romeo 16 via the Cali 7 departure towards Reedy. Insert that, and for the arrival in Charlotte, let's see what they planned for us. 18 left via the Chelsea 5 from Lima Yankee Hotel. Okay, so ILS 18 left. We've got the Chelsea 5 from Lima Yankee Hotel, and the KB transition is looking good, so let's insert that. Okay then, time to check our routes, should be an easy one today. Top altitude 5000, we can dial that in already. And then, onto the plan mode, constraints active, here we go. So, the SID takes us straight ahead to 687, then it's a right hand turn towards item above 5000. We got 687 over there, a right hand turn, item above 5000, and then we proceed Cali, Reedy. And that's it already. So we got Cali, Reedy, and that's it. For the rest of it, quick look through the flight plan. We're going to check the star once we're en route, so we don't need to worry about that. And this is looking good. Alright then, so Let's have a look. Secondary flight plan, copy active, and if we look at that, 2600 feet the MSA around the runway, so our engine outset is going to take us straight ahead, climbing 3000 feet. So let's say new waypoint, Richmond X2, and that is from KREC 16 / what's the runway track over here? Runway track 157. So /157 / 25 miles. Here we go. Store that up. Nav accuracy upgraded, so the IRS alignment is probably finished. GPS primary indicates the same, and indeed that is looking good. Okay, so back to the secondary then. We've got Rig X2. Put that in here, and I am going to insert a holding there. 157 right-hand turns, like that. And then new destination, immediate return is going to be back to Richmond over here. And for that, we are going to select the ILS approach to runway 16. Okay, so that stuff is now in. Let's continue over here. Drawing an extended center line on the fixed page, like that, and then we can take the EO waypoint Rec X2 into here as well. Very good. Don't need any nav aids for the fixed page. I'm going to insert our departure runway over here, and then we can go over to the data, next page, pilot's route, store active. That is still bugged in the Fenix over here. I do hope they're eventually going to fix this, but, well, over here we could check that the entire route we entered agrees with the flight plan route that we have over here. So it should basically say exactly the same as over here. And if there are differences, those need to be explainable. Okay then, wind data request, and then on to the next page. So let's see, zero fuel 123.3. And for as long as we don't know our center of gravity, we can just use the 25. Okay, wind data uplink is here, thank you. And for the block, we took 11.5. That's looking good. Then we can go down to the fuel. So we've got contingency 0.6, alternate 2.5, final 2.3. So let's see, 0.6. Why is the alternate fuel negative? That's interesting. Minimum destination fuel on board, minus 300 kilos. I love it. Okay, so 2.5 was that, positive, and 2.3 on the final. Alright, that's looking better, so we got 11 minutes of extra. Cool, then we can go down here to the takeoff page and enter what we previously got. So flaps 1, 56 degrees. Like that, and our speed's 21, 35, 35. That's a very low V1. Not sure why it's giving us that, because the runway is more than long enough. I really don't see any reason to go with such a low V1. I'm pretty sure in the real world this would be a range, let's say 121 to 135. And for some reason the Fenix always seems to pick the lowest one, instead of actually showing us the entire range. But okay, so be it. So 1170, and engine out as well. That's looking good. Don't need to pre-select any speed up here. Well, we could just pre-select something so that we can fly the turn as tight as possible, but I really don't think that's going to be necessary. Okay, so that's it then. Cool. Everything is in, everything is checked. We just got to do the oxygen check. Ground from cockpit. Go ahead. We'll perform the oxygen check, mount your ears. Okay, that is looking good. The reason we gotta warn the ground crew here is because in the real world you would select the transmitter onto the interphone, then you'd put the interphone button on, and now since the loudspeaker is up, you should be able to hear the sound of the air picked up by the microphone or the oxygen mask. That way you can check that the oxygen mask is actually working. But since that is a very, very loud sound, anybody on the ground crew who's on the headset at that moment would have their ears blown away. So you'll be rather careful about that. Okay, so that much about our setup. Everything is looking good. Let's see how far the loading is. Last couple of bags, is it? Well, that's good. That means we are done in a few moments. So let's go ahead and start our departure briefing. So the plan is to take off from Richmond runway 16 on the Cali 7 departure. Climb of 5,000 feet, and MSA wise we are looking at 2,600. Extra fuel about 10 minutes. Okay, so we don't have any hotspots for the taxi route. It's pretty straightforward. Stop margin rejected takeoff is in excess of 1,000 meters. Engine outside straight at 25 miles. And in case of an immediate return, we are just going to fly traffic pattern left side. And climbing 3,000, then we can return on the ILS approach runway 16, which is prepared on the secondary flight plan. We're under the max landing weight, so that is not a consideration today. And I don't have any special or non-standards. You see any threats for this one? Nope, straightforward. Alright, very good. So, cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity. 11,460 pounds balanced. Seatbelts on, ADIRS. NAV, barrel ref, QNH 2951. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Okay, very good. So that is pretty much everything completed over here. So they are closing the doors already. That is awesome. Let's go ahead and order our pushback straight away so that GSX can get ready. And, well, I could obviously just have used the beacon for that. Like that. Now the pushback is in order, they should disconnect everything as soon as we're ready. Okay, so, our doors being closed, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of American Airlines, you're welcome aboard flight 1063 to Charlotte. Flight time today, 45 minutes at a cruising altitude of 26,000 feet. We would like to thank you very much for being our guests today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Once again, welcome aboard. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Okay, that's the crew catered for. Just gotta make sure that they actually... Let's see, the brake is set. So... now the TOC is connecting, that's awesome. Not sure why they didn't pull the external power though, but doesn't matter, does it? And we just do it ourselves. Okay, that is looking good. Alrighty. So, let's see, do we have the final load sheet already? Here it is. Load sheet in compliance with edition number 1. So let's see, zero fuel weight 123.2. And a CG of 29.7. Okay, so 134.3 is checked. 125 passengers, 6 infants. Wow, that's lots of infants there. Okay, takeoff CG 28.3, and that equals about 0 trim. Okay. So we can stick with our previous takeoff data, since we're close enough to the actual weights. And then I'd say let's go for it. Before start checklist. Park and brake. Set. Takeoff speeds and thrust. 121, 135, 135, flex 56. Windows. Closed. Beacon on. Before start checklist complete. Ground flight deck. Go. So, push approved, runway 16, park and brake set. Roger, release, brakes please. Brakes were released. We are ready for engine start when you are. Roger, stand by, please. Okay, there's still a note about a company message there.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
I think that might just be the first load sheet. But let's have a quick look. Yeah, just the preliminary one. Gonna accept that, and that's good. Okay. Perfect. Look at that. We start seeing the first sign of the sun coming through. Beautiful, isn't it? Flight from ground, you can start the engines. Roger, starting sequence 2 then 1. Engine 2 start. I just love the automatic engine start of the Airbus. Nothing you need to worry about. If anything goes wrong, it is going to alert you to it. Just beautiful.
Gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our
Okay, they start the safety demo in the back.
Thank you.
Okay, pushback complete. Set brakes, please. Brake set. Stand by for engine start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about...
We've got a good start in engine number 2, and we're starting engine number 1.
life jackets,
Clear 1.
and the brace position.
Engine 1 start.
Which you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. See exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing
veil
out
is showing.
the exits nearest to you.
In case you're wondering why I initiated the engine number 1 start before engine 2 was completely started, technically speaking, as soon as the start valve down here is closed, you can start the other engine since bleed air is now available.
Adjusted and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you.
Ah, look at that. They're disconnecting and running away already.
Put the mask over your
But
nose
well,
and mouth.
ignition is looking good, no fire there, so
Hold the mask in place.
yeah, clear signal is seen. That is
Put on your
understood.
sign to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping
Okay,
others.
ground, we've got 2 good starts, clear disconnect, clear sign on the left side with a
Take
pin,
life
have a
jacket
wonderful day.
from
Bye
under
now.
your seat. Remove from the
Okay,
pouch
and there
put
they
it
go.
over your head. Pass the tapes
Very
around
good.
your waist
So at least they're
and click
clear so we
together.
can
Pull the strap to adjust.
finish this one
Place
quickly.
the life jacket inside the aircraft.
Okay, engine is availed.
Outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up,
After start
blow
checklist.
into this tube.
Anti-ice.
The light
Off.
and whistle
Ecom
for
status.
jumping attention. The cabin crew can assist you with life jackets for
Checked.
children.
Pitch trim.
Your tray table must
28.3%.
be stowed.
Rudder trim.
Window
Neutral.
lines
After
open,
start checklist complete.
seatbelt fastened. Further
Okay,
information
flight control check.
regarding your safety on board can be found in
Full
the
up.
in-flight magazine.
Full down.
Hope you have a great flight.
Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay then, for taxi I'd say we make our lives easy, right turn out over here, or well, we can just actually go all the way. Straight on Alpha, to the right, crossing runway 20 onto runway 16. Okay, looks awesome. Let's go. Brake check. Pressure 0. That airport really got some character, doesn't it? I just like those red bricks everywhere. Really like them. It's really got some character to it. Okay, so I have no changes to the takeoff briefing. Everything pretty much stays exactly as it is. Temperature is now 12, so we don't need anti-ice. Just gotta wait for the cabin now. They are done with the announcement already, that is good, so I have some hopes that they will be done with their checks soon. Okay, let's check if there is anybody on final. TARA. Nope, there is nobody approaching, that's good. That means we can already do the lineup. So this is going to be runway 20, don't want to take that, but we actually take the other one.
Approaching 20.
Yep, cleared across. Well, actually no need to add thrust even. We're waiting for the cabin anyway. Why do a fast lineup when you can also do a slow one? And then when the cabin is done, we still need to read the taxi checklist, so that just takes a little while. Okay, so that's runway 16, and that is confirmed.
Approaching 16.
Intentionally. Let's take the best out of the runway that we can get.
Approaching 16.
Intentional. Let's see, a little bit of power on the outboard engine in order to make that turn. But with sim update 15, the sim has really gotten a little bit too much drag now for the turns. Like this, we should easily be able to do the turn like that. But look at how the aircraft is pretty much stuck at barely increasing any speed while I'm going to almost maximum N1 on the outboard engine. That's really not how it should look like. It's definitely got too much drag now.
On runway 16.
Okay. Parking brake set, still standing by for the cabin. Quick look outside. So this is what you get when doing a proper lineup. Remember, the line that you have over here is only for vacating the runway. It's not for lining up on it. So by going over here, I now gave away a little bit of distance already by doing the rather slow speed. Should have went a little bit quicker. Then I would probably have stood even a couple of meters further behind. But you can already see how there's like 30, 40 additional meters now compared to where we would have ended up when we took the taxi offline. Now, really worth pointing that out time and time again, because flight simulators are still using the wrong line, mostly, to line up on the runway. Okay, so cabin is ready, and look at that, the rain has stopped. That's awesome. So, taxi checklist, flight controls, checked, flap setting, conf 1 plus F, radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto, engine mode cell, norm, ECA memo, takeoff no blue, taxi checklist complete. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Yeah, hello?
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway, 16, full length. TCAS, Tara, packs 1 and 2. Off. Lineup checklist complete. Okay then, ready to go? Takeoff. Now watch the speed that we'll have by the time we pass here. That's easily 20 knots. So, thrust set. Oh, bumpy that runway, isn't it? I do like those effects. 100 knots. Checked. Ooh, you can really feel the rudder getting more effective here. V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Enough. Checked. Alright, awesome. Beautiful terrain all around here. Flight director is a little bit unsure of what it wants to do. Cross climb, climb, A thrust. Checked. Flap 0. Speed checked. Flap 0. AP1, checked. Okay then, let's continue the climb. Going for, let's say, 15,000. Wow, beautiful. Really beautiful. So, out of the clouds. Quick flow to check that everything is actually done. And that's it. Alright, with that, we're up and in the air. I really have to say I like those new...
Please keep your seatbelt fastened whilst the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments, we will commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to choose from our fresh selection of...
Okay, they start to sell stuff. I'm not really interested in that, so let's just keep going over here. So, if we do that left turn, we're going to end up right in here. Let's actually go right a couple degrees. Heading select 180. Let's take through this area over here. Open climb heading. That should help us avoid a little bit of that weather and the associated turbulence. Maybe another 5 degrees right, 285. Because this looks rather nasty over here. I'd rather not fly through that if we can avoid it at all. Really unfortunate that we don't have working weather radar, but, well, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so... let's climb flight level 260, which is going to be our final level. We'll definitely keep the seatbelts fastened for now. Do we want to accelerate? Yeah, should be fine. I'm trying to figure out in my head if we accelerate, are we still going to make it above this? And I think we will. Otherwise, we do have the expedite button fitted to this airplane. We could always use that. Even though there are some airlines which are rather unhappy with it, so quite some airlines actually forbid using the expedite button in the aircraft. Now, from here on, let's see, we should stay in VMC for now, so I don't think anti-ice is needed. I'm going to keep the lights and the signs until passing 18,000 since we're in the United States. And with that, we have nicely made our way out of Richmond. Really not the nicest of all days, but honestly gotta tell you, I didn't expect good weather at this time of the year in this area. But I have to say, the graphics here are really amazing, aren't they? Like the light of the sun bleeding through the clouds over here, all the Virga that you see over here, and then those low-level patches of clouds there. Really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Okay then, back inside. Might need a bit of anti-ice going through this. No, temperature is actually plus 15. Okay. So no anti-ice needed. Now, I think we're well clear of the weather on the left side there. Let's see, if we go Direct Lima Yankee Hotel, is that going to keep us clear? I guess so, huh? Let's try that. So, Direct Lima Yankee Hotel. Enough. Climb. Temperature now plus 13. In the real world, you gotta be a little bit careful when you're entering clouds in conditions like these. Like, I just said, well, temperature 15, so we don't have to worry about anti-ice. Now, in the real world, when you are entering a cloud, the temperature is always going to drop. And sometimes by as much as 5 degrees. Usually about 2 or 3 degrees centigrade that you're going to lose when you enter a cloud. So you might be looking at your gauges prior to entering, and you might see temperature like now 11 degrees or something the likes, or 12 degrees. And then when you enter the cloud, that is immediately going to drop to 9 or 10. And then you might need anti-ice even though you previously didn't anticipate the need to. That's something that all pilots have to be aware of in the real world when flying. Unfortunately, that's a feature that's not simulated in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so I think it's going to stay smooth now. Let's release the cabin so that they can at least do a basic service before we reach our top of descent already. And CRTD is coming up over there, but that's partially due to the constraints on the arrival as well. Okay, set standard. Then a cross-check passing flight level 187. Now, checked. Okay, so lights off. I'm gonna remain on constraints because we'll need them in a few moments already. We're gonna go into airports over here. Clear and copy, please. So, cruise 260, optimum 370, max 398. But, yeah, I tell you honestly, with that short of a cruise, we're just going to stay down here in 260. Okay, so, KCLG 18 left. Here we go. Just 197 miles to go, so easy going over here, isn't it? Now, let's see. Arrival is going to be 13:32. Schedule 13:55. Very nice. So our passengers are all going to make their connections easily. That is awesome. So we can just continue like this. And what might be worth just checking is going to be the landing runway. We're planned on 18 left. Well, let's first of all get some weather. So, Charlotte. Request. Weather data. Okay, 19010, 8 miles, overcast 700, 19 and 2942. Man, even lower that QNH. What's that in hectopascals even? 906, okay. Not that bad in the end then. Okay, great. Approaching. Well, gonna maintain the rate for now, but we'll have to reduce it in a few moments when we reach level 250. Interestingly enough, Originally, Simbrief suggested flight level 360 for the cruise. I really have a feeling that would have gone parabolic then. Speed, vertical speeds. 1000 to go. Checked. Okay, so that is pretty much this. Now let's have a very quick look into our arrival charts. So, Charlotte, all ground charts. Airport. So this is the runways we have. 18 left, doesn't look too bad. 18 center might also be in use, but the real world ATIS suggests that 18 left or 18 right are the landing runways at the moment, so 18 left does sound pretty good to me. So we're going to keep that chart, we're also going to keep the parking gates down here. Then let's quickly monitor the level off, and then we can continue with our approach preparations. Alt star, checked. Now watch it as we reach our cruising level, how the target speed is going to change. Mach. Here we go. There we got the change. That basically indicates a change of the flight phase to cruise, which we have right here. Okay, all cruise. So that is pretty much it. I'm going to maintain the route as it is over here because Lima Yankee Hotel is the entrance of our star already. Lovely headwind over here, unfortunately, but not a lot we can actually do about it. And well, that's already that little part. So weather, at least we're clear of any of those clouds down there, because that would certainly be bumpy down there. That is absolutely nothing you want to fly through. Certainly not that one over here. That's a big boy. Okay. Then let's have a look at the arrival chart. Chelsea 5 is going to be ours. And for the approach, we got the ILS 18 left. Here we go. Then let's start having a look. So we're coming in from Lynchburg onto Beamer. Not exactly sure how to pronounce that one. Then Bluge above 270. That one's probably been deleted out. No, it's actually still in. Okay. Well, that's okay. Shouldn't that turn the constraint amber though, since we're not going to meet it? It doesn't matter, I'm just going to delete it anyway now. Well, that's better. Okay, then on the burst between 240 and 270, 280 knots. And we have that. On to Skiles, above 220, 280 knots. On to Dent. Okay, so on to Dent, 270 knots above 16,000. Then on towards Boots between 230 and 13,000. Chelsea 250. Is it Chesley? I'm looking through these things and I'm kind of thinking about what that arrival name actually refers to, and can't really help myself, but a couple of those points here really remind me of the US Airways accident landing in the Hudson. Like, that one could be Skiles, the last name of the FO. Chesley, Sullenberger maybe. Boots, well, you better wear some boots when you are out on that wing of the airplane. Dent, well, kind of speaking for itself. Birds, could that be something like the sound when the geese hit the engine? Slippo, yeah, slipping along the Hudson, you know. Chris, prices maybe? Well, I kind of like this. I kind of like those US arrivals. If you know more details about these arrivals, then do let me know in the comments below. I'd be really interested if I'm just making something up right now, or if that is really how they, actually designed that arrival. What's the change date of the star, by the way? Okay, 2023, but probably just a revision to it. But nonetheless, I really like that. Okay, so back to our arrival then. Okay, so we checked chassis 250 between 13 and level 220, then on towards Chris above 11,000 and southbound to Nodew 230 knots. Wait a moment. Chris, Slippo, and then Nodew. Okay. Well, it's a little bit hard to read here, but okay, yeah. Slippo, 10,000, 210, Nodew, 8 and 9,000, 230 knots. And that is all looking good. And then we go over to the right towards Heels, 210 knots, 6,000, landing south. Expect radar vectors to final approach course after Heels. Okay. So that is looking good. From there we join the arrival via the ILS approach, 18 left. Starting at Cavi, 6,000, and Snack, 5,000. Giggle, 4,000. Man, I love those US waypoints. Alright, now that one's gonna be hard. Cute? Maybe. Eagle? Okay, so Cute, 3,000. Eagle, 2,400. And we have all of those. So 3-degree glide path in here matches with the chart. And in case of missed approach, climb to 1,300, climbing left under 4,000 on Charlotte VOR radial 093 to Locust intersection and hold. Okay, so we got 1,300, 093 inbound Locust, 4,000 and hold. Perfect. So everything is there. So then we need Charlotte VOR radial 093. Like that. 18 left is still correct. So for the arrival itself then, they set maintain on the top of the star chart. There was a node that said maintain cruise Mach number until converting towards 280 knots. Here it is. Speed restriction, descend by a Mach number until intercepting 280, maintain 280 until slowed by the stars, assigned by ATC. We were almost at 280, but nonetheless, I'm going to make it 0.68/280. Which is pretty much exactly what we're flying right now. Okay then, let's see. For the approach itself, we did just request the weather, did we? Yes, we did. Okay, so 190 at 10. Temperature 19. It's really warm there. I like that. And then 2942. Okay, so let's see what our minimum is. 1,002. Like so. And then we're rather light today, so let's do a little bit of mathematics, but I'm fairly sure that we're going to end up doing a flap 3 landing. Let's see. Is it rainy over there? Doesn't really look like it, huh? No. Let's take it to dry runway then, refresh and apply the latest weather. Oh, it just turned a little bit gusty even. Well, makes it more fun, doesn't it? Okay, so landing weight. Let's just see. Fuel upon arrival 6.3, that means we burn 2,100 pounds. So we're looking at 129.5. So 129.5. Low auto brake, idle reverse, auto thrust. Probably off. Let's see if we do it. If we do a flap 3 landing, yeah, that saves a bit. Making best usage of the runway, so that is what we'll do. Okay, so conf 3, low auto brakes, and landing flap 3 on the GPWS as well. Awesome. So then for the go round. MSA 3.8. Okay, 20 minutes extra fuel, that's perfect, and we are just going to make a secondary copy of the active. Okay, awesome. So that is pretty much our arrival preparation completed. Still got a couple miles to the top of the descent, that is very good. So we do have plenty of time available. Okay, so let's get a little bit bright out here, doesn't it? Let's close those. So this is pretty much how you mostly fly in the real world as well. I just gotta put the seat back. So sitting somewhere next to the end of the pedestal here. That's usually like the nicest position for myself with my body size and stuff. And here we go, typical cockpit configuration for cruise. Alright then, are you ready for the briefing? Yes, I am. Okay, MSA 3800, and we are flying the, what's it called again, Chesley 5 arrival for the ILS approach 16 left. Speed error, Chesley, no, I don't think so. Clear that away. Okay, so Chesley 5 arrival for an ILS approach runway 18 left, minimums 1002, go around trajectory straight at 1300 left turn, and join the radio 093 outbound, which is tuned active on the Charlotte VOR on radio on VOR 1. Extra fuel and time, we're looking at 20 minutes. Sounds awesome. So, guidance for the approach is going to be an ILS. Landing flaps 3, stop margin, there was some couple thousand feet there at the end. Reverses, idle, auto brake, low, and runway exit is going to be to the right. On the taxi-in we have one hot spot there, which is basically crossing the parallel runway. We're going to vacate to the right, I guess Charlie 6 maybe, and then up northbound via Charlie and cross runway 23, and then we'll have to see where exactly they are going to park us. Don't have any specials, don't have anything non-standard, so do you see any threats? Nope. Awesome, that's the arrival briefing complete then. Okay, so 22 minutes into the flight, we're done with everything, now we can relax a little bit, maybe order a quick drink. Hello here, it's Chesley on one left. Hi, Emmanuel from the flight deck. How's it going in the back? Yeah, we're doing good in the middle of the service right now, but can we do anything for you? Ah well, if you're in the service then we're good, thank you. So, landing in, let's see, landing in half an hour. Okay, thank you. And it is going to be a little bit bumpy on the approach, perhaps, so just be sure you have that cabin ready early. Okay, thanks. Okay, that's the cabin crew dealt with. So let's have them continue in the back there with the service. TCAS going on to below, by the way. Should have done that by the time we reached our top of climb. And, well, from here on, we do have a little bit of time to relax. But that is about all the time you get on a short-haul flight like this. The headwind of those 111 knots obviously is making a difference here. Doing just 300 knots ground speed, you can see how the top of descent is coming in really, really slowly. So let's just check real quick what that speed arrow we had was about earlier. That was at Chesley. 250 knots. Why is that? Well, 270 coming in over here. I see absolutely no reason to get a speed error here. Should be perfectly able to do this. But okay, if the plane complains about it, then we are just going to use the speed brake there. That should make our life easy. Okay, here we go. That was a bit too far to the back. Now, a couple of people don't know this, but you can actually move the chairs around in the Fenix like that. Really neat, isn't it? Obviously, let's see, this is maximum back. Let's see what that looks like. So somewhere over here is where your head might be positioned. Yeah, that looks fairly familiar. Perspective over here is fine as well. So I would say that the range over which the seats move is actually quite accurate. Now, the backrest of the seat is actually in a rather reclined position. I would probably have it a little bit further forward for when I'm flying. Otherwise it just feels like you're sitting in a racing car or something the likes. Can be nice, but, you know, I don't know yourself if that's what you want or not. Okay, well, so then, let's just take the captain's seat back as well. That is looking good, isn't it? So, that is how you sit there for another 8 hours, and then we are slowly in the direction of, where we want to land it. Okay, company message, let's see. Probably want a delay report. American Ops. No delay code required. Okay, that is awesome. So let's see, arrival message. Don't have any data on the next flight, but we will want a ground power unit. But the APU is operative, so we don't need to fill this out. This would really be interesting if you have an APU inoperative and therefore you require an air start unit, because airports typically take very, very long to actually find one. It's not like those units aren't like super big units, but they sometimes just have problems actually finding them. And likewise, if you need the ground power unit, you tick that over here, you send it out. That is when you have the APU inoperative, so that when you actually need the ground power unit in order to be able to turn those engines off. And more often than not, airports just don't communicate that well with airlines. So when you arrive, you might very well have the APU inoperative, and then there is no ground power there on the stand, and then you're standing there with the engines running on your stand for I don't know how long, until you eventually get a ground power unit. That stuff happens all the time. Okay then, so, apart from that, not all that much that we gotta do over here, right? Looks like the cockpit door button up here is not simulated, but that is alright. So, most important light in the entire airplane, the toilet light. You might be wondering what that is about. Rather easy. If someone's in the toilet, that light is going to come on. And that gives you an indication that you better not open the flight deck door. Easy as that. So, therefore, most important button in the entire airplane. Okay, so still 30 miles to the top of descent. Wow, we are going slow today at just 300 knots. I really thought this would go a little bit quicker, but so be it, huh? I was wondering for a second just now if I had my simulator running at half the simulation rate, but looking down at the clock over here, it seems to be running in real time. At least the seconds are correct, so, well, if that's how it behaves, then that's how it behaves. Well, I will just take a restroom break here for a moment. And then I will be back in just about a second. And I am back. Alright, well, if I'm honest with you, at the end, I just end up over here in the galley, getting myself the Kinderpingui. And ended up not going anywhere else. But that's fine, so let's take a seat, and, well, here we go, that's better. No, not the jump seat. But the armrest, that is what I was looking for. Okay then, so that is pretty much how you spend those flights. So time for the Kinderpingui then. It's quite nice. I really thought the flight would be a little bit more busy, but having that little bit of additional time there is actually quite cool. So I do think we could have climbed a little bit higher then. Maybe with that headwind 260 was a bit low, but I did do the comparisons in SimBrief prior to the start of our flight, so during the planning phase. And when I did the comparisons, it turned out that 260 was the most economical level, at least when comparing flight time with fuel usage. Interesting, why is it changing the zoom now? I literally didn't do anything. Except to eat, that is. Alright, so before continuing to eat though, maybe just a quick bye-bye to the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, from FlightDeck, this is your captain speaking. We are going to start our descent towards Charlotte in a couple of moments, and we will turn on the seatbelt signs in the next 10, so if you do need to visit the restrooms, please do so now. Weather in Charlotte at the moment, 19 degrees centigrade, and light wind from the south, which means we are going to land southbound on runway 18 left today. Would like to thank you very much for choosing American Airlines for today's flight. Hope that you have enjoyed it as much as we did, and we look forward to welcoming you again on board a future flight. In the meantime, would like to say thank you very much, and we see you all again on the next one. Okay. So it looks like we are encountering a little bit of turbulence here. You can see how the plane's going a little bit up and down. But that's all just light turbulence, so we don't have to worry about that too much. If it turned moderate, then we'd turn the seatbelts on. But for light turbulence, it's really up to the pilots if you want to turn the seatbelt sign on or not. Now, personally, I'm a little bit of a split view there, because obviously turning the seatbelt sign on in light turbulence is going to make it a bit more comfy for the passengers, but it also means the cabin crew need to stop their service, and, well, that is perhaps not exactly what you want for the very lightest of turbulence, so you just gotta find a good way in between them. Right, about to reach the top of descent. So via the arrival we go down to 6,000. Descend to alt flight level 60 blue. I don't think any of those flight level restrictions here is actually still going to apply to us, so, well, let's delay the altimeter setting to the transition level actually, but it's important that we check at this point that the altimeter is actually pre-selected, which it is. Okay, awesome. So, speed 280 is correct. And then we're looking at 270 over a dent. That's rather aggressive on the thrust there. But overall looking good. So with that, I have a feeling we slowly need to get ourselves into a proper position again, out of the relaxing position. But well, so be it. Let's see, the click spot should be somewhere over here. It seems rather hard to find, okay. Here it is. Alright. I finished my Kinderpingui. Let's get rid of the table then. And we've intercepted the profile. Very good. Look at that speed. 294 knots over the ground. That's really not a lot. Really not a lot. So we can keep all of the window shades down over here. Because, well, I can tell you from first-hand experience, even those bits of clouds here, when the sunlight reflects off those, they can be really reflective. And let's be honest over here, who wants to have those right in your ear? Did I just say in your ear? Okay, you get where I'm going with this. You also always get your light into the ear, right? Okay then, here we go. Actually, repositioning the camera in cruise is one of those things that flight simmers just generally don't tend to do. Flight simmers like always stay in that optimal seating position that the manufacturer recommends, which is obviously good to be used on the ground and on approach and most certainly on takeoff. But in cruise flight, tell you honestly, those seats just always go here. So something like this is for 90% of the duration of the flight actually the more realistic seating position. But you get where I'm going with that. Okay then, so looks like we are nicely on the way down. The airplane is following the arrival just about perfectly, complying with all the restrictions, even though we obviously do keep an eye on that. So the target speed should go down towards... oh, it is down at 270 already. Well, see, that's just how good VNAV is. Fenix did an awesome job on that. Really have to say that. Really have to say that. So just tell me, we still don't receive anything on VOR 1. Did I tune an incorrect VOR there? Charlie Lima Tango, 15-0. Yeah, that's what we have. Interesting. I mean, we certainly aren't too far from the airport now. 55 miles. And we still don't receive anything of the VOR. That's rather unexpected, let's put it that way. Okay, set QNH. What is it then? 2943 or 2942? Let's just get an updated weather. Okay, send that out, and let's have a look. Received messages. Weather data. 210 at 12, gust 19, 19 degrees, 2942. Okay, so, QNH 2942, cross-check passing 17,500 now. Checked. We are supposed to be flying at 270 knots. The plane is going slightly slower. That is alright. As long as it is within 10-15 knots, I'm happy with it. And as long as TCAS doesn't show that we've got anyone immediately behind us on the arrival. If that was the case, I'd probably go selected speed and command it to fly exactly what it should fly. But like this, you know, as we say in German, don't be päpstlicher than the Papst. That was the word for the Sunday, huh? Okay, enough bad German jokes. And yes, if you try to translate that, it pretty much ends up in don't be popier than the Pope. Take it from there, huh? Germans are strange people, I know that. Okay, so reaching about 15,000. Seatbelt signs are going to come on. I honestly got to say, I really like how easy of an airplane the Airbus is. Like, in the 737, you would more or less constantly be working on a flight like this. There is like always something that you gotta do. In the Airbus, well, you see it. We're just sitting here and monitoring. Not all that much to do. I really like that. It's such a superb design philosophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside.
Okay, well, that was a pretty short announcement.
Your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to keep. The toilets are no longer in service. Thank you.
Okay then. So, pretty easy going over here. Unfortunately, the next overcast layer is already coming up. I'm pretty sure that is where Charlotte lies below. But, well, not gonna be much of an issue for us. Now, in case you're wondering, there may be something worth explaining over here. You could see, when looking at the weather forecast, that we've got broken clouds in 700. And if you're looking at the ILS chart, you can see that our minimum is 1002. But we don't have to worry about not seeing the runway there, because there is one important factor over here. The height of the clouds is always given above aerodrome level. So if you see broken 700, that is always going to be 700 feet above the airport, and not in 700 feet above mean sea level, which is how the minimum is given. If we look at the minimum in the brackets here, that is the decision height, so the height above the airport, and that's 254 feet. So only at 254, if the clouds were below that, that is when we would have to worry about being able to see something on the approach. Now, if we had, for example, broken clouds in 200, then we couldn't fly this approach anymore. Well, unless they do have Cat 3 capabilities, but at least on this chart over here they don't, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, what's also worth noting at this point, let's just assume that we had the clouds not giving us broken 700, but actually broken 200. Then we could not fly the approach, and we would have an approach ban in force. An approach ban basically tells you when you are not going to see, or when you are, according to the forecast, below the minima until a certain point, usually the final approach fix, in some cases also the outer marker or the 4-mile distance or stuff like that. But when you got a weather forecast that you are not going to see the light by the time you pass this point, then you are not allowed to fly the approach. Now, again, if we continue from this situation, let's say we still have the clouds in 200, but let's say that it is not broken clouds, but scattered or few clouds. In those cases, you are actually allowed to fly the approach, because they don't constitute a cloud ceiling or a cloud base. Only if you've got broken or overcast clouds, that actually gives you a ceiling, and then you would not be allowed to fly the approach. Alright, so reaching 10,000, lights on, LS on, constraints on. GPS primary, high accuracy, more drag, yeah, let's not worry about it. It's doing a rather fine job. Okay, approach checklist please. Barrel RAF, QNH 2942. Seatbelts on, minimum, barrel 1002. Auto brake, low, engine mode cell, norm, approach checklist complete. Okay, so traffic down there in 3,000 below us, so he's probably in 6,000 then. We'll have to see where he's gonna go. speed. So we need 210 and 6,000 feet at heels, and thereafter it's going to be a radar vector. So we'll probably just continue along here until we are able to join the final approach.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Awesome. Hi, Emmanuel in the machine room.
The cabin is now secure for landing.
Thank you. And that's it. Oh, it's easy. Okay, so traffic is now about 5 miles ahead of us. Can we see anything? 1,500 below? Yeah, there he is. Aircraft type? Well, there he is, but unable to recognize. Unable to recognize anything, unfortunately. So, we are just going to continue then. 1,000 to go. And, well, we'll just hope that he's going to fly the, we'll just hope that he's going to fly the speed restrictions as well. And then everything should be good. This is AI traffic from FS Traffic, from Just Flight. So, definitely worth having a look at that add-on. But, being AI, you can interpret that in two completely different ways. It's either artificial intelligence or it's artificial idiocracy. Choose one. But I do have to say though that compared to earlier versions of Microsoft Flight Simulator, let's say FSX or P3D, over there AI was usually really bad. I have to say that the only thing that I think they could really do better in Microsoft Flight Simulator is they could actually fly or vacate the runway a little bit quicker. Apart from that, it is working fairly nicely. I do have to give it that. Okay, so they wanted us to maintain 210, not go to final approach speed here. Let's go ahead and do that. And look at that, now that we've reduced towards 210, the AI is actually gaining distance from us, so he's actually doing a good job there. And flying faster than we do. I do like that. Okay, so we're on the part where we can expect vectors now. And tell you what, since the AI is already going in nicely, let's make a left-hand turn here, heading 230, and we are just going to follow him. We'll maintain the 6,000 for now. 22 miles out. Now we also receive Charlotte VOR. So that is definitely looking rather good. Okay then. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and do a little bit of hand flying here. I will just on the speed brakes already and turn on the lights so that I don't have to worry about that at later stages of the flight. Let's also quickly go ahead and clean up our flight plan. So the final approach point is at Eagle in 2400. But that's like really close from the airport. Let's extend the center line out of Gilgy, or out of, let's make it out of Qweed. That should be good. So Qweed, radial in. That is looking correct. And insert. Alright, that's looking better. So, lock blue. And look at that, the AI is now at almost 10 miles, so shouldn't be a problem at all. Let's just make sure there is nobody else coming anywhere. Nope, there isn't. That's good. Okay then, descent 3000 and cleared for the ILS. First island descent alt 3000 blue. And let's do that stuff ourselves. Autopilot off. And I'll tell you what, let's do flight director off, but on. So glide slope is alive as well, we're right on it, perfect. And then since we're about to get established, let's just get rid of a couple of those sunshades. Looking awesome. So runway track later on is going to be 184. I will pre-select that so that we can reduce our workload later on. Here we go, 184. Going a little bit below the glide, that is fine, since we still have to lose some of the speed. And just look at that headwind here, 40 knots. Easy going, isn't it? Okay then, manage speed, flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1. Alright, I will start the left turn gradually here for the ILS intercept. Localizer alive. And here we go, quite a crap angle. But as you can see with those 40 knots of wind, those 10 degrees crap angle are not really that surprising. Okay then, 500 feet a minute is the target, let's fly it right down into the glide slope. And that is looking very good. Small maneuvers are the key to flying a successful ILS. Okay, so entering the clouds, temperature 19, so we don't need anti-ice. The wind, let's just update it to the latest there. Bravo performance, refresh. So it's now 220 at 9. Here we go. 700 to go, is checked, and here comes the ILS. Or the glide slope, I should say. So let's see what idle thrust is going to do. We need about, let's say, 900 feet a minute in order to maintain that glide slope. So pretty much like this. Speed, stable, very good. Okay, so glide slope capture. Boron altitude 4,000 set. You can kind of feel a little bit of the turbulence that we have over here, but look at how nice of a job the Airbus is doing to maintain the ILS, or to maintain the glide slope. That's exactly as it is in the full flight simulator, by the way. When you do the type rating, one of the first things they demonstrate to you on the sim is how lovely the Airbus maintains all those numbers. Okay then, gear down, flaps 2. Obviously, when you're changing configuration, then the plane does need a little bit of pilot input there in order to be kept on the approach nicely, but as you can see, easy going. Okay, flaps 3, landing checklist. Econ memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. Significantly increased the approach there due to ground speed mini correcting for the wind that we have here, since we still have 30 knots wind more than we are going to have on the ground. Okay, the runway is inside already, easy going then. And look at that, when the wind is dying off, you can see the approach speed really coming down over here. Exactly as it should be. Now the challenge is just to maintain all those numbers. And here it's coming up again.
1,000.
Checked. Couple of lovely gusts still in here. And a nice downdraft as well. That's really how it is fun to fly, isn't it? Like in the real world not so much, but in the sim, I really appreciate it. In the real world just give me Kavak wind calm, and that's perfect. That's a nice gust there.
500.
Okay, the wind is dying down now.
Minimum.
Continue. Okay, that glide slope seems inaccurate now.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Ew, that was a bit positive. Okay, spoiler, reverse green, decel. But yeah, the wind just died down when we entered the flare, 70 knots, so there wasn't really that much we could do. Prevent a tail strike, and then just, you know, put it on the ground. Okay. Off you go to the right-hand side. Okay guys, welcome to Charlotte, if you didn't notice.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access may now be used. Please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead lockers. Do take care opening the overhead lockers as items may have moved during flight. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your journey.
Alright then, so after landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear off, after landing checklist complete. And we're now 2 minutes past landing. Engines are on idle for a while. Let's start the APU so that we can do single engine taxi then. Okay, so we should have the parallel runway coming up in a few moments. Yep, there it comes. And then it's going to be gate Charlie 10 over there, so we'll cross the runway left on Mike and then into Charlie 10. Okay, so APU avail, reaching 3 minutes, engine 2 shut down. So then, off to the left. And here we are. Okay then. So, our gate is in the middle between the two Americans over there. Now comes the exciting thing. trying to find your way across a US apron. That's not always the easiest, but suppose we just go in over here via that ramp delta sign. Which is coming right here. Obviously you would have ground staff waiting at the gate now, who would be guiding you in, but since we don't have that, we just gotta make our way on our own. Okay then, that's Charlie 8, I believe, between the Americans. I'm happy with that as well. We're getting a little fast here, and here we go, Charlie 8. Okay, lights off. Lights are off. Okay, brake set. Bleed on. Engines off. Cabin crew, all doors on. Yeah? Are they going to say it? Well, they're doing it anyway. That's okay for me. Okay then. And you can give me the parking checklist, please. Park and brake out chocks. That's the brake set. Engines off. Wing light off. Fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. Alright guys, 19 degrees, we can shut that APU. The airplane should stay nice and cozy as it is. So, that's it, our flight from Richmond to Charlotte. I do hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Now, we are quickly going to say bye-bye to our passengers over here. And with that, I would like to say thank you very much for joining, my friends. Hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And with all of that, I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one. In the meantime, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like in YouTube as well, as it does really help out the channel. Be sure to comment to let me know what you think about this one. And finally, if you're up for more, don't forget to subscribe. I would like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope that you've enjoyed this one. And if you really loved it, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Maybe, just maybe, I can buy a couple new tires after this landing from it.